for me, music is a pure thing. Always has been, always will be. It detaches me. I'm just not there. I'm somewhere else. And that's what the best music does. It transports you. If I was to actually say can I tell you what I think music can do? Because it can do a lot of things. Music can lift you up. It can make your good feelings even better. You know what I mean? It can lift you up from the dark. It can alleviate boredom, which is one of the great illnesses of human beings, when even music can't get you up anymore. It lies down on the floor with you. It stays with you. It saves you, basically. Music is the great salvation to me.
Ready to go?
Yeah.
My birth name is David Thomas Morrison Maclean. My professional name is David Ward Maclean. I was born in Rue, Helensburgh, 1958, June the 30th, at 3 a.m. And I moved to York in 1988 to do a music degree, and I've lived here ever since.
Strangest man I ever met, his eyes were flat, his hair was wet. He talked to me as if I was a friend. He opened up on everything.
Our upbringing was quite hard. It was a working class village. It was really grim. It was some kind of, it was grimmish, you know what I mean? But basically this place was actually a feeder village for the shipbuilding on the Clyde.
I hadn't had the best of days. Let him turn or walk away into the falling night.
Well, basically my brother, he was listening to what was happening in the 60s. So Motown, the Beatles, the Stones, and that was what was coming on the radio as well. We were listening to the charts and stuff like that. Your music is basically based on your childhood experiences that last you forever, that last forever. I got my first guitar on my 15th birthday, and how I got it is quite wonderful. My brother used to play me all these albums of people like Bert Jansch and Bob Dylan and stuff like that. So I became intrigued by the guitar for no good reason. My brother had always played the guitar, but I'd never shown any interest in it. And eventually he was having to shoo me off. He'd had two guitars, a really good one and a kind of an okay one. And so he started shooing me off. So a month before my 15th birthday, he came into my bedroom and I'd nicked a guitar. This time I had the not so great one, but it's still a really good guitar. And basically he threw a book of chords on the bed and he goes, "So you learn enough of them in a month, that's guitar's yours for your 15th birthday." And I played until my fingers bled. And that's how I got my first guitar. It was a Hofner jazz guitar, very hard to play.
Help run the habit, and we've had Dave play here for many years, running open mic nights, his own nights and everything, and always a character, I might add.
Well, I met David when I first, shortly after first moving to York, and just because he's always out and about, and he's on in the pubs playing music. I think the first time he spoke to me, though, I was talking at his gig, and he told me off. And since then, we've been good friends.
Since about 1993, when I first came to York, David was, as you say, the street artist and a busker, and I was just starting out as a caricaturist for him. So he was very welcoming, yeah, and he told me how to get started up on that, and he's regretted it ever since.
T.S. Eliot, when he was talking about poetry, said that you get moved by a poem before you understand it. It actually affects you before you understand what it's about. And it's the same for me with song. You can't really tell what it's going to grab you. Sometimes what's going to grab you is something you really don't like at all in principle, and it just gets you. It's chemistry. It's like love. It's that profound. It's that inexplicable. You cannot explain it. And you can talk about structures and forms and this, that and the other, but it's all after the fact. The actual fact of the experience is profound and immutable and inexplicable. I like York because the musical community is a real community.
Midnight come and you don't want to go home for the same old Austin.
Well, I started busking in York nearly 28 years ago. And I'm still doing it now, and I still love it.
A little bit of sparkle on a drink or two. For you, the evening's only just.
I certainly like to do my part with actually welcoming people in, whether it be buskers or people at open mic nights or, whatever, because I love the community, which kind of has really kind of taken off over the last 15 years. The pubs are lovely, some really lovely places to sit in, the river and round by the Minster, a summer evening with a breeze coming round. You really can't beat it. As a city, you can't beat it. I miss the Highlands of Scotland, but then again, I always will. Doesn't matter where I live. Welcome to York, the graveyard of all ambition. The thing is, you can while away your whole life here. But actually, what's so bad about that?
It is really a music place. People will come. The amount of bars you go to that have open mic has bands playing every single night. York is it's a hub of maybe not original bands who do big, but as a place where people will come to play from out of town, it's buzzing.
The live performance in the right moment at the right time, there's nothing like it. It's incredible. You get the right vibe, and the thing is, you have to understand that your ego has got very little, if anything, to do with it. It's got to do with riding the moment and funnily enough, actually dealing with it, but not kind of almost not being there. So the best live experiences I've ever had, I just felt as if it was coming through my back, and that's when you disappear. If you think about it, we are emburdened with ourselves, our concerns of ourselves, how we look, what we say, what we think, And for those precious moments live and in writing and sometimes in recording, not as much, you're disemburdened of the weight of yourself. You're no longer there. You're nameless. You're nothing. And that is absolutely fantastic. I love it.
Fuck off!
So this happens every bloody time. I'm fine with it, and then you put a camera in front of me, I'm just going, sorry, I can't do this one.
Do you want a drink?
No, I can't do this one.
Oh, that's fine. If you want absolutely fine, man.
Yeah, but it's not absolutely fine. It's just not good enough. I'll be very depressed if I don't do it. I'll have another go. Okay, you don't mind? When it comes to writing, I've got no procedure. It could actually be the words come up with the idea, or I might have a musical idea and a words idea. And sometimes you can do it in 40 minutes, sometimes you can do it in 10 years. The important thing is that the 40-minute ones should actually sound like it took you ages to write. And the ones at 10 years should sound like you just did it, you know what I mean? There's a kind of an effortlessness with a really good song. It shows no markings of any labour.
Edge of a moon and a star for free, hanging in the sky for us all to see. Candles are lit on the balustrade, feet on the stairs and the flame will lead. Rain on the roof and that song you love, even the part that I never get right. Giving out gifts on a sable night, with the reborn moon above. Sharing the truth on the homeward road, set in a usual open coat. Dinner for 3 and a quiz for 2, but never the answer to me and you. Solarian, the wine and the flowers and the glow. I killed something sweet, I killed it stone dead. Sensible part of an unsensible head, just knew that it had to be so.
So here we are. This is my favourite place to busk. We're coming up to here. I've got lots of places. I love busking generally in York, and it's a lovely place. But here is my favourite place, because if you look up here, you'll see the wonderful Minster. What's amazing about this is that when you're playing in a pub, you're paid to play. You're doing a concert, you put tickets at the door. But basically, here, there's no obligation for anybody to sit and listen, or never mind give a donation. They're completely at their liberty to do what the hell they want. And I've had some of the most beautiful moments out here. Really amazing. And anyway, I just thought I'd show you it. I hate working in the studio. I can't stand it. I try not to. I don't write very much nowadays. I've written so many songs, I think my brain has decided not to allow me to do any more until I've actually recorded them. I could give you a 10-minute exposition on the greatness of Riverman by Nick Drake, but at the end of the day, it's just a great song. It just gets you, you know. It happens, and your biggest job is to stand aside. It used to be lots of cigarettes and staying up till 4 o'clock in the morning, but not anymore. 2 words I don't like to hear when it comes to recording or any art form: natural and spontaneous. Absolute clocks. It just doesn't happen. Find a really lovely tree, you cut it down, and you find a horse, nice horse, you shoot it, You find a sheep, you shoot that one as well. You gut the sheep, you cut the legs off the horse and the tail, you cut the tree up into bits, and then you boil the feet of the horse, and then using the stuff that you boiled in the feet of the horse, you actually stick the bits of wood together, you gut the sheep, and you turn the sheep gut into really thin string, and suddenly, there you got it, a violin. You tell me what is natural about that. And it's A, nothing, and B, everything, because we are a species and we do what we do. And the same with the notion of spontaneity. Miles Davis was one of the great improvisers of all time, one of the greatest. He still did his scales 4 hours a day. You have to keep your toes sharp in the box to be able to do it. So basically, when we go into the studio, we're not really looking, we should not actually carry that burden in with us. And people go, oh, it should be the natural bow of the performance. What are you talking about? I've actually listened to tracks of mine, and I'm not telling you which ones are which, and I'll go, oh, that's just great, really nice natural performance. I can actually see that's 7 edits in there. And I actually went for a P in the middle of that one. So what we're actually talking about is concepts and states of mind. So silence is a state of mind, spontaneity is a state of mind, natural is a state of mind, it's certainly not a state of fact. I've done stuff with Jethro Tull, you know. I did 3 guest spots for Jethro Tull back in 2008 in a 40th anniversary tour. They all joined me on 2 of my songs, which was terrifying because the actual rehearsal was the sound check on the night. I sent them the tracks, they worked out their parts, I would turn up, and we're talking about playing in front of 3,000 people, 4,000 people venues, which were small for them, but massive for me. Absolutely terrifying, but it was such good fun.
You're all sitting there thinking, you better be good. Thinking, no.
You know that saying, my body is a temple? Well, actually, if my body was a temple, the way I treated it, it was like the really broken down ones in the middle of the jungle in Burma, you know, where the monkeys throw poo at each other. That's my kind of temple. So when I'd had the stroke, I really was not. I'd realised that was the kind of, I had to make a choice because my voice was very badly slurred and I couldn't sing properly. I had 5 notes, no vibrato. I had no control over this part of the vocal cords. And then I would go, I've got to do some singing, and do some singing, make myself do some singing. And Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper, that kind of stuff as well. Once I forced myself to do it, I would feel okay. And then I suddenly realised over a few days that suddenly my speech was really picking up after my singing. And then it would go fall back a bit again, but every time it was a little bit better, a tiny bit better. And then I actually went online and I found out that it's actually singing therapy is actually very good. So there's actually a very strong theory that we sang before we could speak. And so singing is not an extension of speech. Speech is a distillation of singing. You can actually, over 3 or 4 years, you can get back stuff that you've lost, as long as you keep working at it. But I still knew it was a limited amount of time. Use it or lose it, as they say. There are some songs I'll never get back, ever. But that's as much aging process as the stroke. I was having problems with this, both the hands, and I thought maybe I should get myself a broad neck guitar. And I had a bit of spare money through a wonderful thing that somebody left me in their will, which was enough, you know, to actually go and treat myself with something. The only way I'm actually going to really make myself play is to get another guitar that I really, really want to find out about, I want to explore, you know? So basically I was kind of looking online and I saw the magic name, Yairi, and I thought, well, they're not really the kind of broad neck guitar that I've been looking for, but I will look at it, and then I saw one online in a shop called Promenade, I think it's called, and it was reduced from 1,000 to 800, and 1996, it was actually 22 years old. And I got them to send me a film recording of it, and I listened to it, and I thought, yeah, okay, I'll go through and have a listen. Bear in mind that I hadn't played more than 10 minutes on a guitar any day. 4 months, basically. And I went through to Morecambe on a train, all the way through Leeds, right through. It was a lovely journey, actually. Got there, picked up the Yairi, went back in the practice room at the back, played for a bit, went out, asked them for a capo, because I wanted to hear what it sounded like at the 5th fret. Played it a bit more, and I went, I love it, I'm having it. So I looked up at the clock, and I've been playing the damn thing for over an hour. I didn't even know. That's how beautiful it is.
Ooh, 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 ooh. I turned down that secret lane, no purpose for, no reason why. I sat down and took some rest and listened to the plane up high.
The only regrets I can actually say that I don't have of any kind whatsoever are the 3 kids I had. That's it. I'm not saying I regret everything else. I'm just saying there's a plus and a minus to everything. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, what's the point? What are you going to do? What's going to happen? Nothing. The only reason that you actually look to the past is to make sure you don't make the same mistakes in the future.
So there we were, just me and the plane, me and the plane, and the church and the sky. And we all were happy for that time before we all passed by. Yes, we all were happy for that time before we all passed by. Ooh, 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 ooh.
The love of all the friends and family that I have here. So that's what it was that I would actually take from this life to the next.
The only way to know for sure, really, really dead. If I make it to the door, if I make it through the night, do I get back all the time I lost? Do I step into the light? Do I step into the light? I'm cracking up. My heart's mouth is acting up. There's nothing I can do to stop my alphabet from breaking up. Till each consonant is like a stick, each vowel like a missile thrown. The only thing that words can prove is we can kill by words alone, and then just get them in the heart, get them in the head. The only way to know for sure, we're really, really dead. If I make it to the door, make it through the night, do I get back all the friends I lost? Do I step into the light? Do I step into the light?